now we're going to go into a news cycle where everyone tries to pretend that Bernie Sanders is not disqualified for the job as president, that he's not disqualified for serving a term that would end when he's in his mid-80s by his heart condition, but the fact that he has had stents inserted, where everyone's going to pretend that the surgical insertion of stents into your heart is no big deal because, hey, the word stent is just one syllable long, and all the scary diseases have really long names in Greek and Latin, right? And where everyone's going to pretend that Bernie Sanders' diet that has now disqualified him for president of the United States isn't a big deal ethically, isn't a big deal ecologically, and isn't a big deal in terms of his health, in terms of yours and mine.
Presidential candidate Bernie Sanders has called off campaigning for now after a heart procedure. The Vermont senator is 78. He had chest pains in Las Vegas on Tuesday, and doctors inserted 2 stents into a blocked artery.
Bernie Sanders is someone who would pledge $16 trillion of taxpayers' money to improve the environment, to improve the world's ecology. $16 trillion. But he's unwilling to quit eating cows and pigs himself for the sake of those same ecological outcomes. And you can't pretend he doesn't know. You can't pretend he's not aware of the importance of the vegan diet ecologically because he knows Al Gore. All right? He is much less than 6 degrees of separation away from Al Gore and Al Gore's very public commitment to both ecology and the vegan diet. Within the last 20 years of Bernie Sanders' career in politics, that's kind of been a big deal within the Democrat Party of the United States of America. And you know who else he's within 6 degrees of separation of? Bill Clinton. Bernie Sanders has directly seen the transformation in Bill Clinton's appearance and Bill Clinton's very public endorsement of the effects of the vegan diet for his health.
I went on essentially a plant-based diet. I live on beans, legumes, vegetables, fruit. I drink a protein supplement every morning, no dairy. I drink almond milk mixed in with fruit and a protein powder. So I get the protein for the day when I start the day out. And it changed my whole metabolism, and I lost 24 pounds. And I got back to basically what I weighed in high school. So I did all this research, and I saw that 82% of the people since 1986 who have gone on a plant-based, no dairy, no meat of any kind, no chicken, turkey. I eat very little fish. Once in a while I'll have a little fish, not often. If you can do it, 82% of the people who've done that have begun to heal themselves. Their arterial blockage cleans up. The calcium deposit around their heart breaks up. This movement has been led by a doctor named Caldwell Esselstyn at the Cleveland Clinic, Dean Ornish, who you know, out in California, the doctors Campbell, father and son, who wrote the China study, and a handful of others. But we now have 25 years of evidence. And so I thought, well, since I need to lose a little weight for Chelsea's wedding, I'll become part of this experiment.
And look, it's even worse if you're willing to consider Bernie Sanders' diet, ethics, and ecology in the context of his actual policy positions. I think this YouTube channel, I think I myself am the only person in the media, if I can even be described as being in the media, to cover the fact that Bernie Sanders supports the beef industry and supports the dairy industry in a manner that he would consider corrupt himself if he were criticizing the Republican Party of doing the same things. So Bernie Sanders has been in a deeply morally self-contradictory position on this issue in terms of his own diet, in terms of the public policy he's endorsing, in terms of the connections between him and both the dairy and the beef industry. And nobody cared. Nobody cared until it almost killed him. And guess what? The stents, the surgery he's just undergone, it really will discredit him in the public eye. He admits himself in his book that his health and his old age were a major reason why he didn't win against Hillary Clinton just so many years ago. It'll be a major reason why he won't win now, partly because so many of the potential voters are themselves elderly. They know what stents mean. They know how debilitated this guy is. They know how incapable he is of holding the job of president for 8 years, and how worrying it would be to have him in the role of president for 4 years. And it all comes down to a stupid, selfish refusal to not be vegan when Al Gore and Bill Clinton had already showed him how it's done. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, we've still got Elizabeth Warren. That Elizabeth Warren looks like she eats a healthy diet. Nope.
On the campaign trail, you were said to have been an aficionado of fast food across the Commonwealth.
Yep.
And I'm wondering whether, as U.S. Senator, you still occasionally indulge in the Mickey D's or Taco Bell or...
Yep, keep going. Keep going.
Do you have a...
Sometimes we do Chipotle,
Okay.
really, really good. But yeah, in fact, I could probably close my eyes and recite most of the McDonald's menu. I think fast food is actually a good thing. It is dependable.
Okay.
You know it's going to be there. You're going to get those calories and be ready to go. I'm for it. And no matter how miserable life is, it is made better by French fries with salt.
Don't think anyone would be opposed to that sentiment.
Yep.